Welcome to the state of Ohio. I'm Karen Kassler. State lawmakers have approved a Republican-drawn congressional district map that creates only 2 districts where a Democrat would be strongly favored to win out of a total of 15 districts. This has stirred outrage among voter rights advocates who pushed for the 2018 anti-gerrymandering reforms that voters overwhelmingly approved. Statehouse correspondent Andy Chow reports.
The new congressional map draws 12 districts that either lean or heavily favor Republicans. That's 80% of the districts for the GOP in a state where Republican candidates average about 54% of the vote in statewide elections. According to Dave's Redistricting, a national analytical tool, the congressional district map creates 5 districts where Republican voters outnumber Democratic voters by more than 20%, and 2 districts where Republican voters outnumber Democratic voters by more than 10%. There are 6 districts where the margin between registered Republicans and Democrats is below 10%. Of those districts, 5 lean in favor of Republicans. That leaves only 2 districts in the congressional map approved by the Ohio Senate and House that heavily favor Democrats. Those districts are in Franklin County and Cuyahoga County. The Cleveland area congressional district has 78% to 19% split for Democrats. The Columbus area congressional district gives Democratic voters a 68% to 29% advantage over Republican voters. That's very similar to the margins by which Democrats in those districts were elected in 2016 and 2020. The Princeton Gerrymandering Project, another national effort tracking redistricting around the U.S., gives the Ohio map an F for partisan fairness and C's for competitiveness and features such as compact districts and county splits. Katie Shanahan is Ohio State Director for All on the Line, a group funded by the National Democratic Redistricting Committee. Shanahan says Republican leaders failed to follow the anti-gerrymandering reforms passed by voters in 2018.
When Ohioans went to the ballot in 2018, we sent a clear message on redistricting, that we wanted an open, transparent redistricting process that ultimately ended in a fair congressional map. Unfortunately, the Republicans have, throughout the entirety of this process, sent Ohioans a much different message. They don't care. They don't care about our reform. They don't care about our Constitution. They don't care what any of us have to say in our testimony, and they certainly don't care about our democracy.
Republican Senator Rob McCauley counters by saying Republican leaders did not set out to create an even split of safe districts for Republicans or Democrats.
I don't think that's what the voters wanted when they approved the issue in the election to make this constitutional amendment. They want competitive districts. They want districts that are responsive to what's going on out in society and what's going on in our country. This map gives competitive districts.
But the redistricting reforms put provisions in the Constitution saying the Ohio House and Senate could not pass a new congressional map that unduly favors or disfavors a political party or its incumbents. Voter rights groups are challenging the new state legislative district maps, which retain a Republican supermajority for the Ohio House and Senate. It would only be good for 4 years without Democratic support. That was supposed to be one of the incentives to get majority party lawmakers to work with the minority party on a longer-lasting 10-year map. The League of Women Voters says another court challenge to the congressional map is also on the table. Andy Chow, Statehouse News Bureau.